Welcome to episode 3. In episode 3, we're going to talk about the strategy behind why we chose that company and things you really need to know before you choose a company to work for. Make sure you've watched the first 2 videos because this won't make any sense if you have not watched video 1 and video 2. I'll link both in the description. But today we're going to go and talk about the business side behind the decision to choose the company we chose and how this can be a very important part for your success. Let's talk about that next. What's going on, guys? My name is Ty Turner, and if this is your first time on this channel was simply designed for content creators like yourself who want to turn their passion into profit. We don't do a lot of picture talk and video talk and pretty talk. We do a lot of business talk here. Other channels, they are great for helping you be better as a photographer, videographer, podcaster, editor. But here we simply focus on the business side of content creation. And this is episode 3 of the series. And we talk about our strategy, why we chose what we chose, why we went after the company we went after. And I want to cut right into it. Let's cut right into it. Let me give you some information on Pepperidge Farms really quick. One is they were founded in 1937 in Fairfield, Connecticut by Margaret Runkin, who named the brand after her family's farm in Connecticut. The headquarters is now located in Norwalk, Connecticut, and they're owned by the Campbell Soup Company. Yes, that Campbell. When we were looking for a brand, there were things about this brand that were perfect for what we were trying to do. And you want to go after a brand that has social media visibility, but they're not flooded with it. They don't have too much. Your image can be seen, especially if it's really good. And with Joni working on the shot, she's wonderful at understanding a brand's image and replicating that image without no direction. That's something that you will have to be good at in order for this process to work. Another reason we chose this brand is because they had a social media presence that wasn't flooded with a lot of content from both users and from the company. If you go look at a company like Pepsi or Coca-Cola, they have a ton of content, not only from Pepsi or Coca-Cola, but just random pictures of people out and about with Pepsis and Coca-Colas in their hand. So they have a lot of content. It would be difficult for them to find our image, even if we tagged them in it. Also, this is a company that most people know of from their products and not just their brand. So it makes it easy for us to target a product and create something for that product, unlike a Coca-Cola or a Pepsi, where not only is their brand name Pepsi, but their main product is Pepsi. That means even more content to go through. That's more traffic. It's more people. That's more congestion. That's what we call a red ocean. We don't want a red ocean. We want what's called a blue ocean. We want a situation that offers opportunity. And if we create great content, we have the opportunity for it to get seen by that company and anybody else who follows that company. This is a very important step to help you cut through some of the competition that may be out there. Another reason is they have products we've seen or heard of before. They're pretty much a household brand. If not them, their owner is definitely a household brand, and they've even been featured on an episode of Family Guy.
Remember those sweet, warm New England summers?
The next reason is they're owned by a powerhouse company. They're owned by a big brand, and that benefits us in a few ways. One is if they decide to work with us, budget is not a problem. It's not an issue with a company of that size. Number 2, if we get the attention of Campbell, not only do we create opportunities to work with Pepperidge Farm, but we create opportunities to work with any company under the Campbell's umbrella. So now we've turned one opportunity into many opportunities. Often we've done something like this before where we went after one brand, and because that brand was owned by a bigger brand, that information would get shared within the company and we may get hired by a different brand under that umbrella. So this opportunity splits off into many directions because of the type of company we chose to go after. The next reason we chose this company is because we felt like we could replicate their style. This is very important to your success. Your ability to understand and replicate their style. You can't create content for Apple or Red Bull and not understand their style. Every time you see an Apple commercial, you know it's an Apple commercial. Every time you see a Red Bull commercial, you know it's a Red Bull commercial. Companies have certain looks and feel to them that you need to study and understand before you go out creating content, because creating content that's not within their lane, style wise, color wise, look wise, quality wise, could backfire on you. Your ability to be creative within their style is the difference between an image getting no attention and an image getting all the attention in the world. Those are the things that will make a company want to work with you in the future, because they feel like you get it. You get them. It's extremely important that you look at a lot of advertisements for this company before you decide to do something for them. It's extremely important that you're able to really look at multiple ads and determine what their style is. Do they have a certain color palette? Are they using a certain font? Are they taking certain shots? And this works for both photo and video. You have to understand how they're shooting it so that you can replicate that with your twist on it. If you give them something that's completely left field, they will not push it and promote it as much. Sometimes they won't touch it at all. I know if I'm shooting a Mountain Dew video, it needs to be fast paced and moving. It needs to be probably of a skateboarder or of a dirt biker or something like that that appeals to Mountain Dew. You want to make sure you fully understand what that company does when it comes to marketing. What is their image? Who is their target audience? How are they creating content? Who are they creating content for? And you need to replicate that within your project. So studying this company and talking with Joni, we really felt like we could replicate their style and do it well. Also, we felt like it was a seasonal brand. We wanted to create content that we felt like would work with this upcoming holiday season so that we can kind of tease them into using it. It fits what they're trying to do. It's within their brand and it's on time. The timing of it is right. So we wanted to make sure we had everything lined up to work perfectly in the business world, to work perfectly for a company that's probably gearing up to start creating content for the holiday season. We were also able to find high-level executives online. We were able to find people on LinkedIn that we can communicate and talk to and possibly get the image in front of if they didn't see it on Instagram. It's important that we find a back door into the company to make this work, to get this content in front of the right people. We don't want to bug them. However, we want to make sure they know what we did for them and they know that they can use it if they need to. So those are things we want to make sure we have in line when we choose the correct company. In fact, let's bring Joni back in to talk about strategies and expectations. And after that, we'll talk a little bit more about our goals for this particular project. So we are back for video 3. And this video, we're going to talk about the business side. We're going to talk about our strategy behind why we chose this company and what we expect, because there's a reason we're doing this. We want to make sure you understand that while we're doing it and how this could possibly help your business, your brand to reach a larger audience. So let's just start real quick with just, why we chose this business, why we chose this particular company, or why you feel like this company would benefit most from what we're doing.
I mean, for me, I just felt like they were the right size, that we could access them, that we could, potentially connect with key players at the business. But at the same time, that there would be enough infrastructure there to want to work with us, or at least share that content, So to me, it was just like kind of that perfect match. And two, just having seen their stuff online, I thought, okay, there's some good opportunity here. Like from an aesthetic standpoint, I felt like I understood like what they would be wanting, potentially even like they're similar to other kinds of businesses I've worked with before in terms of I kind of have a sense of probably what are some of their marketing strategies and what are some of the campaigns even potentially that they're working on, things that they're planning. And so that if what we can create is in line with what they're already doing or have done in the past, like it just makes it that much easier to incorporate. Because, I think of like other brands I've gone after in the past and done this same exact strategy and then, shared the content, had a conversation after the fact. And I was like, okay, well, what was one of the things that attracted you to want to work together? They said, well, we just felt like you understood our brand. And so this is a company where I feel like I understand them and what are their goals and objectives. I mean, certainly we want to dig deeper into that in the business conversations that we'll have, but I feel like just getting off on the ground running, I know what they're looking for in terms of aesthetics, type of content, energy, mood, all those creative decisions. I can get off on the right foot.
I think when people see the final product, they will totally agree with you. They will totally, because I think it's important that if you choose a brand, you understand or have an idea of their culture, their feel, their look. You don't want to go, you don't want to get a brand that caters to a different audience and then give them something crazy that their audience can't understand. You want to kind of help them with something that's in line with their vision. So, and that as a creator, it's very important that you're able to talk to someone and you're able to understand a company's vision and create within those boundaries. And I think this is a great example of your expertise and your ability to do just that, because I feel like when I see what you've created, it feels like the company went out and did it themselves. It felt like they hired you and gave you a list of things to do, and they gave you a whole huge manual on what they love, and you created something within those barriers. And it's crazy knowing that we don't really have a relationship with them yet, I'd hope, but and you were able to create something that is just absolutely just wonderful. Like, I can't wait.
Well, thank you.
People
And
get
don't
to
you
see
think,
everything.
Ty, that the more that you work with, different kinds of companies, different kinds of brands, you see different creative briefs and you work with different art directors and different people, that you do sort of get a sense of probably, like, you can almost sort of plan ahead of time, like, what are things that they're going to include in that? I feel like that familiarity builds over time.
I agree. I definitely agree. That's why I love working with past clients over and over again, because I get to the point where I know exactly what they want and they don't even have to go into like crazy details. Like, I got it. I'll have it to you next week.
Yeah. It's a little bit of mind reading action there.
Yeah.
They're like, how did you know that? And you're like, well, this is that whole process of becoming more and more familiar with somebody and more familiar with a client, that you can produce that stuff without them even having to say it.
Totally agree. I totally agree. Another thing I like about this company is, they're owned by Campbell's, but this is a smaller division. And I was able to find just a list of people on LinkedIn who work for the company that we can provide direct links to. All we need is one or two of them to reach back, and we're in. So that was something that helped choose or help the strategy, in my opinion, as far as making sure we're after the right company. You want people who are touchable. You want people you can reach out to. And because you don't know what doors this may open. And if you have a company that is accessible, you tend to get feedback, future hires, you tend to get reshares better. You tend to have more interaction with the brand. And that is one of the things that we're going for, is to have the brand interact with us. Positively, of course, in a way that will help bring more attention to our brand, while helping them as well.
And that's a great point too, as far as Campbell's, and kind of that larger like company division, that this is very typical in the food world, that there's like a big parent company and sort of all these divisions. And so maybe we've created something for Pepperidge Farms. I mean, we'll see when we reconvene in a week or two, just to recap all this. But, sometimes you'll do something like this kind of project for one particular division, and other people within the company who work in other parts will say, hey, I've got a referral for you. Maybe the puff pastry division doesn't need anything right now, but hey, these guys over here with the soup, they need some help. And that has happened to me. I created some content with Sara Lee Pound Cake once, and I didn't end up getting hired by Sara Lee, but State Fair Corn Dogs, which is a part of the same group in terms of the marketing arm, ended up hiring me because of a referral. So this kind of goodwill that you're building out, you just never know who knows who. It's, at the end of the day, it's a small world.
That's correct. Sara Lee could have probably paid me in cheesecakes and key lime pies. I would have been okay with that. I would have been.
It's a good thing.
When I was talking about in the last video working for Red Bull, they sent because they didn't. I just showed up and started shooting. They sent a refrigerator-sized box of Red Bulls to my house. after
You
that
were
shoot.
amped up.
And I was giving them out to the kids in the neighborhood, and the parents were like, please stop giving my kid Red Bulls. They can't sleep. And I'm like, well, I got half a refrigerator box to get rid of. So, you know,
That's
I'm
Ty
sorry.
Turner, man. He gets the kids all lit up.
They're all jacked up. They were like, Ty, I appreciate everything you're doing. So yeah, it was yeah. But you know, I think choosing this company will pay off definitely. And I like what they're doing. And I see, you know, one of the opportunities, and I think it's important that if you're looking to do this for a brand, is that you recognize the opportunities that's there. And looking at YouTube channels and Instagram pages, you kind of see some opportunities. A company like this should be posting often. They should have a lot of content. And if you come across a company that you feel doesn't have as much content as you'd like, you can step right in and help them, you know, and create something that will get their attention, because they're, you know, they may be blown away with the work that you do. And it may come at the right time, and it may open tons of doors for you.
Yeah. Timing is everything.
Timing is everything, especially when you take into account the fact that you're pre-planning for holidays and it's right on time. Those are things that are perfect. Next, I think it's very important that we talk about goals and expectations, because this marketing hack can do wonders for you. It can literally take you from rags to riches if it's done properly and done right for the right client at the right time. There's a lot of things that have to line up, but there are two goals that we have in mind from this particular project. The first and main goal is to pique the interest of the client, right? Of the company that we've chosen, in order for them to reshare our image and give us proper image or video credit. Now, you do not want to brand yourself all over the image or video. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that they feel very comfortable with sharing the image. And it talks about their brand and their product and not you everywhere. This is not your time to have the limelight. Your limelight or your time to shine is right where it says photo credit. That's exactly what you want. You want to be recognized and respected for your ability to create content at that level. Let that happen organically. Don't blast this company with a bunch of watermarks and all kind of crap. That's not the professional way to do it. By them resharing the video alone, it will establish our brand as a heavy hitter, as a major brand, as a company that is recognized by bigger companies. Simply having your logo next to their logo will do wonders on showing value to your clients. It will also provide more exposure for your company via Instagram or your website. Think about it. If you're a food photographer and a major food brand share your image, it's the equivalent of being a nature photographer and you get published in the National Geographic. It does wonders for your brand. You can even get a screen copy of your image on their website, maybe post on your website as seen on Campbell's website or as seen on whatever company you work with. It's almost like a form of being published. So keep in mind, the main goal is to get the attention of the brand and pique their interest, just enough for them to reshare it. Goal number 2 is simply to attract other brands, especially smaller brands. A lot of smaller companies, local bakeries and things like that, are normally looking to a larger company to learn trends, to see what they're doing, to see what they're preparing for. And your goal would be to attract those companies. Now, there are a few ways to doing it. One, you want to make sure your Instagram page is set up to attract this business. What do I mean by that? Make sure your contact information is relevant. Make sure your Instagram page talks about the fact that you create content for whatever type of business. And this is what you do, so that when they get more information about you, when they click that link, it takes them to an Instagram page that is designed to let clients know what your capabilities are. It needs to have your value proposition. So what is a value proposition? Value proposition refers to the value that a company promises to provide to a client should they choose to do business with that company. Your Instagram page needs to be set up to let the viewers know who you are, what you offer, and why they should contact or work with you to get this particular product. As a content creator, I tell you all the time, you need to have a niche. And when you have a niche, you have a target audience. You need to know what appeals to your target audience, and you need to make sure that you have a value proposition listed on your website and on your Instagram page to instantly let people know what you do. Here's an example of what my multimedia company uses as our value proposition. It can be found on our website and our Instagram page. Discover new ways to increase client engagement using digital content designed to get results. Instantly, you know what we do, why we do it, and who we do it for. So it's important that when potential clients land on your Instagram page, your website, your Twitter page, anywhere, you want to make sure they have your value proposition up front and center. It's not only important that we sit back and just wait for clients to come in, but if they share your image, it is a great time for you to reach out to new and potential clients and use this post or reshare as proof to potential clients that you know what you're doing. I've often used screenshots of companies that share my previous work in my email marketing campaign or whenever I approach new clients. What's worked best for me has been email or directly through social media. We even have a 5-part email sequence that's designed to generate leads. It's perfect for when you need to send a cold email. It's a great place to start if you don't know what to say. Now, those are our main goals. However, the absolute best case scenario is to have the company reach out to us to license the images for commercial use or want to bring us in to be a part of future campaigns. However, don't let this be your purpose. The goal is simply to get exposure. It is well worth your time on this project simply for them to reshare your image or video and give you the credit for it. So imagine if you decided to do projects like this during your free time monthly. Not only would you be better at your craft, but you may be able to get a company or two to give you free exposure. If you're really good at this, you may not have to spend a dime on marketing. Keep in mind that this marketing hack works in a lot of areas. Whether you're in photography or videography, this marketing hack can provide some serious exposure. I would also consider doing it if you're an article writer or a blog writer. You can write things for the right company and they may love to share it. Any type of content can use this method to increase exposure within their industry. All right, so now that we got all the business part, the planning, the strategy out of the way, here comes the part you've all been waiting for, the part where we post everything and the waiting game starts, where we wait for the client to react. And how do you feel about it so far? Let's go there first.
I feel great about this. I think that, we have a really good plan of attack. I think we did our research. I think we've created something that's very intentional and timely. So, even if they don't hire us, I feel like there's still great opportunity to get some good exposure from this.
And that's the key. The ultimate goal is to be hired by the company, but the more realistic goal is great exposure. Free exposure, free marketing, getting in front of more people who are our target customers and ideal client, simply by doing what we love to do. So I think that is the main goal. That nice to have is them contacting us directly saying we want to hire you for something. So.
Yeah, but you've laid the groundwork. All those contacts and the connections and doing that research of who are those key players. Because don't just let it stop by just saying, I'm going to post this and walk away. Taking that little extra step and getting in people's inboxes and direct messages. I think we're set up for success here, Ty.
Yeah, me too. So to see what happens, to follow up with this, we're going live on the 26th.
Yes.
And we're going live at 2 p.m. Central Time. I'll let you do the math on where it is your time. I'll make sure to have it scheduled on both channels. So make sure you're subscribed to both channels. Give them your Instagram one more time so they can make sure they're on there as well.
Absolutely. It's over at The Bite Shot. So the bite, not the bike. Some people think it's the bike shop. That has nothing to do with what I do. It's bite and shot, like a camera shot.
Perfect. If you want to see
full explanation there.
If you want to see final images, final videos, that's where they'll be. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you subscribe to Flashfilm Academy's Instagram channel as well. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the 26th. I hope you've enjoyed this series, and I hope that you tune in on the 26th for our live session where you get to ask a ton of questions and we get to update you on what's happened between now and then. We still have some work to do now that the images are posted. We're going to try to make sure we reach out from people in the company to make sure that the image lands on their desks to help promote the chances of our image being reshared or at least acknowledged. If we can do that, then we have been successful with this particular project. All right, guys, I will see you live on the 26th.